Grand Rising, welcome to Healing Hype Man. What do we need to release? Message of the day. As today is the full moon in Cancer, with Mars retrograde in Cancer as well, this is highlighting a period and a full moon that is intended to release some sort of bottled up or suppressed emotions to some degree. It might have been something that you might have suppressed. A grizzly bear comes to mind. You might have hibernated it for a very long time. I want to be honest here. I think it very well can be something that you might have been hibernating and keeping a secret to some degree, or keeping in a very dark cave that would like to come through. So my intention here, you already see the title below here on Healing Hype Man, is what do we need to release? We're going to use some... Oh my God, I actually don't even know what these cards are called. I'm going to use these, which are feelings and emotion-based cards, and then I'm also going to pull some tarot to see what comes through. Take a look in your chart to see where you have Cancer, right? So for everyone, it's very, very different based on your rising sign. So take a look. It may resonate with the house that it's in, but again, we're talking about emotions. So we have emotions around different areas in our life, and it may not directly correlate with your house. Just because the moon is in Cancer doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be about mother wounds, right? It very well could be about financial wounds. It very well can be about relationship wounds. It can very well be about acceptance. What do we need to release? Mars, which is the planet of aggression, of action, of how we take action, right? It is how we move forward in life. It can highlight, your Mars placement can highlight like how you go after things, how you handle confrontation, how you handle disagreements, how you handle conflict. But most importantly, it's how you drive things in life, right? So take a look to see where that is for you in your chart, because it's going to be very different. What you need to release. I have here abundance and regret. Did I say acceptance? I did say acceptance. Interesting. Abundance. I am a limitless being. I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. And we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Oh, wow. Are we talking about the past? Well, ideally, if this is something that you have suppressed, something you have hibernated. I was getting grizzly bear spirit, right? Like grizzly bear spirit as an animal. Yeah. Oh, brown bear spirit. This is what was coming into my mind. Take time out, right? So I'm going to keep this here because I feel like that was in my mind, to be honest, and if I really think about this, so there very well could be a limiting belief that we are processing that is going to be released around, oh my gosh, this is literally a limiting belief around thinking that nothing ever goes my way. Nothing ever works out for me. Things don't work out for me. Regret. Thinking that we're not worthy. There we go. Oh my gosh, getting the words. Worthiness. This is massive around I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy because of X, Y, and Z. I know for a lot of you that could be very, very different. Worthiness. I'm just going to give you some broad examples here and how I've seen it most recently. A client said to me that because she's dealing with a mental health diagnosis, that she's unlovable. Another client thinks that because he was in a traumatic experience with his partner, that he has so much PTSD that he's a difficult person to deal with because there's so many triggers. Good things don't happen in their life because they're always expecting for the other shoe to drop. Another client has an HIV diagnosis and suppressed that diagnosis and really didn't process that, didn't think that it was going to affect him. And now he's starting to realize the way that he talks about it is very harsh and negative and adds a barrier in his dating life. I know that I cannot change the past when it comes to regret. What do we need to release? We're limiting our abundance by holding on to regret. Tell me about this belief. Tell me about this belief. Tell me about this belief. Three of Wands. Cards are flying out today. Interesting. Three of Wands. This is taking action at some point, right? You've already been planning something. You've already been perhaps thought about this, planned this, but Three of Wands is implying movement. There needs to be movement in this. Pick a boat and go, which means you've been contemplating. This is a contemplation card. You're sitting on the edge of the cliff and you're like, okay, what do I do next? That's where we're at. What do I do next? Well, it's time to make a decision and go. Are we giving compassion to ourselves? Are we nurturing ourselves with the Queen of Cups? Ace of Swords. Clarity is gained. We have some insight. We have some new information. Perhaps we're looking at this from a different lens here. One more. Eight of Wands. Make quick, swift movements and adjustments can be made. So my advice to you here, I think I'm going to keep this short and sweet here, is like when something comes up, like, yes, we have to feel it. We have to nurture ourselves. We have to give it compassion, right? Compassionate inquiry. We must give it compassionate inquiry, but we cannot sit in the indecisive, like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's time to take action, especially with the Eight of Wands here. Like, this is like, we got to take action, and we got to take action fast. I want to make sure that we hold space for compassionate inquiry and clarity. Compassionate inquiry and clarity, then we can move forward. Tell me about this regret. What could this be about? What could this be about? I'm going to give you more details here in case you would like a little bit more of a resonance for you, right? Your wish fulfillments. Maybe you're regretting some things that you once wished. Maybe you're regretting some things. Maybe you've never actually seen happiness. That's the limiting belief of good things don't happen to me because you've never actually seen it in your life. Wow, 10 of Cups. Some of you could be very well regretting family dynamics. It's not about, if we're going to sit in the aspect of regret, you're sitting in the past, that's also depression. And if you're focused on the future, you're focused, that's sitting in anxiety here. There could very well be a regret in, family dynamic would imply relationship dynamics because you have to be in a relationship before you have a family. And it's the 9 to the 10. Oh my goodness. Some of you very well could be regretting, wow, how do I even say that? Some of you very well could be regretting or really holding yourself back in what it is you truly want in family and what makes you happy, right? That you're literally holding yourself back from your own happiness. Three of Swords. Pain and sorrow, heartbreak, third-party situations, or just pain in general is something that you regret. We need to, there is the concept in compassionate inquiry so that we can dive into this aspect or this part of yourself or this experience that you are regretting to some degree. We need to give it compassion and remind ourselves, where were you in life during these situations, right? What took place? If I think about how I'm helping my clients do these things as well, what took place? How old were you? What was going on? What information did you have? What information did you not know? Right? You made decisions that you now regret, but you made these decisions based on what you knew at that time and these experiences in the moment that you were in the time that you were in the year that you were in the situation that you were in. How can we belittle or blame and shame, oh my gosh, shame that person, that version of you for making those choices when I bet you were probably just trying to survive. Now you can give that past version compassion and a hug, because I'm sure at that time you wanted a hug. You wanted someone to tell you that things are going to be okay. And part of this concept here of like deciding what you want to do next and making some sort of quick action, which tells me that you've been sitting in this for a while and now it's time to make a move, right? It's time to bring this, what needs to be released, up out of the cave that was been hibernating with the brown bear. Okay, it's been cute and cuddly because it's been oh my God, what's the word I'm trying to say? Complacent? No, it's been you've been content with it to a certain degree, but it's been holding you back. And I'm going to say it's been holding you back on a subconscious level. That is what limiting beliefs are. They are a subconscious belief. I should have said that first. They are a subconscious belief that is holding you back, that is incorrect and irrational. So you're looking at irrational thoughts here, based on an experience that took place in the past, or something that was told to you over and over and over again. Constantly see this at work. Families that don't ever say I love you to their children. They grow up and they don't know how to be in relationships. You weren't allowed to speak unless you were spoken to. They're scared to speak up and say how they feel, and they need to ask for permission, or they wait for someone else to make the first move. We're talking about some deep-seated limiting beliefs here, right? If these things are hitting or are ringing a bell for you, compassionate inquiry by way of a therapist can certainly guide you in the right direction, right? Because I can't imagine how you can give yourself compassion if you don't know what that means, if you've never received it. So psychologytoday.com. If you are in the United States, you can certainly find someone to speak to. You can find me on there as well if you have Florida insurance, or anyone that can hold space for you. It's so interesting. My roommate yesterday, he's like, "Have you ever said holding space for someone?" And I was like, "You do realize that I'm a therapist, right?" And he's like, "I thought that was only in the Wicked," like, because Ariana and Cynthia have been all over the place talking about how they're holding space, and he's never heard that. And I was a little surprised, because in my world, in my bubble, I understand the concept of what holding space for someone is, and I have understood that for like the past 5 years. He has not. He's never heard that before. So it really tells me that the people that I surround myself with, right, are on some sort of the same vibration or same frequency, but he's not necessarily in my everyday environment and has not been in my life for a very long time. And there are people that don't know what holding space means. And if you're going to take one thing away from today, it's hold space for the thing that you have been suppressing emotionally. Any limiting belief that you have been putting in the cave very well can come out on its own or by way of conversation. I truly believe that astrology works with people. When we engage with people in society and things that come to our awareness, right? Maybe some of you very well might have clicked this reading for the first time, never seen me before, and I'm bringing this to your awareness, right? It's just synchronistic. It's synchronistic to some degree. I'm going to leave that there because I know it's very general, and if you want to explore compassionate inquiry, I'll put a link in the description box for some free content on compassionate inquiry and holding space for yourself for these emotions to come through. Remember, the moon only stays in a sign for every 2.5 days. So this too shall pass. As long as you take action, you bring clarity and compassion into that space that you are holding, whether it's with you or with someone else. My name is Alvin Catalan. I'm present. I'm done speaking now.